Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to tour an incredible van dwelling with an impressive solar system. But first, I want to tell you how you could win your very own customizable tiny house and support a great cause at the same time. Imagine winning your very own tiny home built by Modern Tiny Living with a value up to $100,000. And the best part is that you get to fully customize the design. I think if I could customize a tiny house with that kind of budget, I'd make something totally unique. Maybe there'd even be a slide somewhere. To potentially win the tiny home of your dreams, visit omaze.com/THGJ. Donate $10 and enter for your chance to win. Every donation is supporting a great cause. Omaze is partnered with PATH, a charity on a mission to end homelessness. PATH will remain on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis, and now more than ever, their work is saving lives. I know my tiny house has changed my perspective on what can actually be called a home. And no matter if you want to live in a tiny house full-time or plop one in your backyard as a guest house or granny flat, owning a tiny home will bring so much joy to your life. I can attest to that. All right, guys, let's take a tour.
Make this house our tiny home.
I'm Dave. This here's Dunbar. We are in the beautiful area of Sedona, and I'd love to give you a tour of my van. Before I moved into the van, I was working as a test engineer for a company that made transducers for fish finders and other applications. So I was at a desk writing computer programs, and I actually loved my job, but I just wanted to get out and start exploring. I've been on the road for 4 months. Coming from New Hampshire, I drove down the East Coast and then went west, kind of through the middle of the country. I love being out in nature, so I tend to try to be out in BLM land or other trailheads, to be out there and not really around busy streets or anything like that. I first came across van life on YouTube. I think like most people, I saw Van Tour and got addicted to watching Van Tour videos. That's how I came to build my van. I kind of watched a ton of Van Tours and picked and chose the parts that I really liked and tried to incorporate that into my van. I always knew that I wanted to do something in my younger years before I retired. So whether it be hike the AT or backpack Europe, I always wanted to do something that wasn't just strictly working. I came across van life and I thought it was perfect to get out there, explore the US, and be able to take my pup along with me. When I first started to think about building my van, it took me about 6 months of planning exactly what I wanted in the van, layout, and then once I bought my van, it took me about 6 months to build it out, having no prior woodworking experience or propane experience or anything. Electrical was a lot easier coming from an electrical engineering background, but other than that, I was new to everything. I moved back in with my parents. I had sold my house, so I was homeless until I built this out. And then my sister actually sold her house as well. So her, my brother-in-law, and my niece also moved back into my parents' house. So it was a big family reunion, and they all chipped in and helped me to help build it out. Bought the van new, which was $36,000, and then the rest of the build out was about $45,000. Having that robust electrical system really increased the cost, so I could have definitely done it less if I didn't have that crazy solar setup, but I really wanted the air conditioner, so I needed that. I went with a Ram ProMaster 3500, 2019. I went and bought new because I'm not very mechanically inclined. So I wanted something reliable that I could take to any shop in the country and have everything fixed right on the spot. I went with the 3500, which is the longest ProMaster. That extra 14 inches of room really helped get the layout that I really wanted inside. So I have a pretty crazy solar setup. I have 3 335 watt panels on my roof, and this was the most that I could Tetris onto the top of my roof. So I have a total of 1,005 watts. I have 6 100 amp hour lithium batteries in the back for a total of 600 amp hours. And this beefy setup was to allow me to have an air conditioner in my van. You can see the vent for the air conditioner right here. So I have a window AC unit in one of my upper cabinets that's vented to the outside through this vent. So the other two things on my roof besides my solar panels are my Max Air fan, which works amazing to help keep my van cool for Dunbar or to vent when I'm cooking. The other thing on my roof is my cell booster. I went with the WeBoost and it works amazing. It helps me when there's not a lot of cell phone signal. It helps me to have enough cell signal to actually use my cell phone. For my cooking setup and a couple other things, I have a propane tank mounted behind the rear axle, and you can see the remote fill right here where I can fill it up very easily. The other two things that run off of my propane are my furnace and my hot water heater, which are both vented right here. I also have a Shore power plug here, so I can plug in if my solar's not doing the trick. Let's check out the garage. This is where the whole build started. I started out building the bike rack because I loved a mountain bike. So I built the bike rack, put my bike in there, and then I was able to get the height of my bed, and then the whole build went back from there. I have my entire electric setup. So I have my charge controller, I have my inverter, and then I have pretty much all the electrical besides the wires running to each piece of equipment. I then have my boogie board, my mountain bike, a bunch of backpacking bags. I have my snowboard, stuff that will just get me outside. So I also have a outdoor shower on the back. I have a propane instant hot water, so I can take as long a hot water shower as I want. I have a 46-gallon water tank. A shower takes about 2 to 4 gallons. More often I use it to wash off Dunbar when he's gotten into the mud, but it's definitely awesome to take a shower outside. So coming into my van, I have my water fill right here, so I can pull up to a water fill station, throw a hose in there, and fill up my water tank, which you can see through the slot right here. I have a 46-gallon water tank, so that lasts me about 2-3 weeks if I'm not taking a shower every day. So let's head on in, check out the inside. Welcome to the inside of my van, nicknamed Sunny D because of the 1,000 watts of solar, and then Dave and Dunbar for the D. When I was thinking about the build of my van, I wanted to have kind of like an open concept, or as open as you can have inside a van, and then I also wanted to have a ton of counter space. I went with a butcher block countertop. It's 8 feet long, 2 feet wide. It gives me a ton of area to prepare meals or really do whatever I want up here. I also made custom cabinets on hinges. I can store all my food, my dishes, really anything I want up here. Gives me a ton of space. For the sink area, I have my paper towels, all my mugs for drinking whatever I'm in the mood for. I went with a really deep sink because I really don't like doing dishes. I have a 3-stage water filter, so I don't really have to worry too much about where I fill up my water. I do all my drinking water out of there. It works great. You can also see the inside antenna for my WeBoost, so that uses the antenna on the outside, boosts the signal, so I can get it on the inside of my van. So for the oven, I have a 3-burner propane top with a 17-inch oven underneath. This works great for cooking all the stuff on top, and then the oven is great for cooking frozen pizzas if I stop by a store, or cookies, or birthday cake, really whatever. It's just like a normal oven, except a little bit smaller, so I can't cook the Thanksgiving meal, but I can get a small chicken in there. I have the fruit hammock, which is a van life necessity. And then I have all my spices magnetized up here, my knives and set of utensils. And I have my fridge down here, which is a truck fridge, which works great. The only problem is the freezer is really small. But Dunbar's definite favorite feature is the dog dish hidden underneath the fridge. It's on drawer slides, so it's easy to slide in and out. And when we're driving, I take the dish out, throw it in the sink so it doesn't spill everywhere. Works really great. So one of my favorite features of the van is the curtain that my mom made. It's just 2 pieces of fabric and then a layer of thin slate in between. But I can pull it all the way across, and then it keeps the heat or the cold from the cab entering the back of the van, and then it also keeps all the light out. This curtain works so great. So moving into the dining room, living room, bathroom area. First off, I have a laundry chute. Keeps the smells back there so I don't have to deal with that. Next is the table, which is awesome. It slides out, can seat 3 people here pretty comfortably. It's on 500-pound drawer slides, so it's very sturdy. This is probably my favorite part of the van. So underneath the table is the toilet. It's a Nature's Head composting toilet. It works great. You can't smell anything. I just roll it out and it's good to go. Down here I have my temperature sensor, which enables me to send a signal to my phone and let me know what temperature it is in the van. So when Dunbar is in the van by himself, I have a setting that if it gets over 80 degrees, it'll send me an alert and I'll know to come back to the van immediately. He's getting too hot. So I went with a permanent platform bed for a couple different reasons. I have my mountain bike underneath the bed, so it allows me to store a lot of stuff, including the mountain bike back there. I also didn't want to set up my bed every morning, so I didn't want to convert it into a dining room and then set it back up into a bed. Part of the reason why I went with a ProMaster is because I was able to sleep side to side rather than have the bed an extra couple feet out this way. It's the width of a queen and then it's the length of a full. It's been perfect for me. Dunbar does snuggle with me up there. He loves stealing my spot before I go to bed, and then he's kind enough to move over and let me in. So in a van you want things that are multi-purpose, and this section of countertop, when I want extra seating, I can put it behind the seat, and then this section becomes an extra seat so I can sit 3 people at this table very comfortably. It also can drop down into the center here, and I have mounting brackets so that I can form a second bed if I have anybody staying over and I need the extra room at night. So Dunbar is about to go take me out on a hike. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the van. If you have any other questions or anything, check me out on Instagram, Vagabond Adventure, and if not, I'll see you on the road.
Today's Tiny Tour was the last one that we shot before the lockdown, so you might notice the content on this channel is going to be slightly different in the coming weeks. Check back soon to see what I mean. And don't forget to enter to win your very own tiny house by visiting omaze.com/THGJ.